Where's your head right now?
Harry! No, it goes cracker, apple, cheese, not cracker, cheese, apple. I know that we've only been married 2 days, Perry, but you should know this.
You're gonna fry for this, buddy. Worth it?
Yo, Drake. What up? I got something to say.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown.
Hi there, I'm Brogy the Gorilla, and I'm terminally online, so I'm going to make it everybody else's problem. You read the title. This is going to be about Twitch, and how it's like a mentally unstable woman. Nothing but trouble. You know the type of broad that's gonna leave you on the ground screaming medic after she just waltzed in and came in here with the kind of energy that you just knew was gonna ruin your life. After doing so, making you think, you know what, maybe I could change her, maybe I could save her, you know? Man, I know your boy Sponge is looking at me like a dad who doesn't even want to reach for the belt. That level of disappointment. You know, the type that just leads to the disappointed head shake. Oh man, spreading father issues like it's damn COVID. The kind of chick that just makes you want to go,
Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no!
And speaking of women who probably have bad father issues, enter the ladies of Gamergate. Okay, I know the phrase Gamergate makes us all clench in discomfort like we're at Diddy's house and the clock just hit midnight. That's a Cinderella story that hopefully won't end with him.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And after that, it's over. You wake up and you don't even know what you done. Just a pool of sweat around your ankles and a deep sense of satisfaction. Give me a minute, Robert.
You look like you need to take 5.
You know, I would threaten to kick your ass for what you just said to me. But you will probably like that with your nasty baby oil having ass. So I'ma head on out. And you know what? King me.
Nigga.
I bring this all up because the story of Twitch being a dumpster fire does, at least this when I first heard about it, kick off with Gamergate. What is Gamergate, you ask? Well, back in the 2010s, a gaming journalist and her buddies get busted for sleeping with their sources. They refuse to take accountability, obviously, and, oh, right, I might make a more in-depth video on the topic later on if you guys want me to, but the basic TLDR version, these journalists were, or most of them were women, and they were bragging at an award show about sleeping with their sources to gain exclusives and get ahead of their competition. Now this shit gets overheard, and they get busted. I think one specifically ended up getting dropped by her boyfriend like a political content creator drops their ethics and morals, and self-respect. More on political content creators and commentators later. So, they get called out, and that made them get mad and start a campaign calling male gamers misogynists. Since they were journalists, she and her friends had full control of the narrative. They made it sound like we gamers only had an issue with her because she had girly bits, instead of her just being a damn horrible person. Enter Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn. Yes, there was a third member of this whole trio, but I'm going to focus on these two specifically because of how much they milked this to high heaven. They even tried to take it to Congress. It didn't pan out so well, but businesses and game companies ended up siding with her, even having her as a consultant here and there to avoid looking like they were on the wrong side of history. This obviously included Twitch, when it was still a gaming site, but yes, they were siding with Sarkeesian in that. But it quickly seemed like they weren't doing enough, because gamers were just not having it. Most gamers you see noticed the changes coming, and they saw it as a BS attempt to control. And let's just say It wasn't the best of times, nor the most nuanced of times. Don't forget, gaming used to be very vicious with our jokes and rage baiting, so it wasn't hard to make us all look that bad, especially when we fought back. More and more people ended up getting toxic out of reflex. The victims being random women who just tried to jump into the space, but just couldn't handle the talk. It wasn't out of actual hatred, it was just because we feared they were going to be the second coming of Feminist Frequency. Oh, right, Feminist Frequency was the group Quinn and Sarkeesian ended up calling themselves. Now, I wasn't exactly around for most of this part of the internet, because at that point I did actually have a life. But I did see a lot of it, some of it happening and a lot of it happening, and after looking things up, it brought me full speed into an understanding. So yeah, I'm gonna be real though. I blame the bitches, feminists, who couldn't take the heat. I mean, they could have just muted the chats and just accepted that this shit is just what it is, and there's no way they're gonna change it. As for the toxic gamer side, I mean, yeah, if you can't handle the roast, which by the way is a staple of gaming culture, I say just don't get involved or play solo. I do believe if they go random with it and attack just average women or random women in and out of the game and harass them and all that, yes, then I believe we're being too toxic and that needs to be stamped out. But more times than not, it was just honestly telling people to just fuck off and being done with it. Most likely just jokes. If not jokes, we were just telling you to just leave. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring that part up though. Even if I do believe it really wasn't all there much of a fault, and you'll see why I say that as we move forward. Anyway, enter Chapter 2. Chapter 2, the gambling scams. Let's kick off with the Phantom Lord gambling mess. Phantom Lord used to be a popular streamer, got accused of owning a CSGO skin gambling site. The site was called CSGO Shuffle. He apparently rigged the game and failed to disclose his financial connection to the system, nor his favorable outcomes from the said rigging. Basically, he stole and he didn't tell people that he was rigging the game, nor that he was financially connected to the game. Now, he ended up suing Twitch back in 2018 for banning him and breaching his Twitch contract for not giving him a written notice of his ban or giving him a 30-day window to try to solve the matter. He won and eventually got a big payday. And what about Twitch? Well, Twitch just trudged on and maintains their ban to the day. The whole thing is apparently lost to time on the internet, but people still get pissed about it, as well as other gambling problems. Other problems like the Slicker scandal. Slicker was a popular streamer who admitted to scamming his audience. There were many scandals and repeat offenders from other streamers who took advantage of the crypto craze and did stuff like pump and dumps on their clients. Now, I'm not a real journalist, so I do recommend looking who these idiots were and what happened with them, as well as just how many gambling problems Twitch just has. I'm just a girl looking back and giving you all the TLDR version. Now, let's move on to the next chapter.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Chapter 3. The streamers are not alright. This is not going to be in any real timeline-like order, so I'm going to have to ask you guys to forgive me. All of this took place between 2016 to 2018, so I'm going to have to ask you to please forgive an ape who's just reminiscing on Twitch's F-ups. I'm not the internet historian, so you're going to have to bear with me. Everybody cool? Okay? Okay. So basically, with the rising of Twitch and streaming, we ended up getting a whole new section. This section was called IRL streaming. You would think this would be weird for a game-centric website, but Twitch did have some other stuff on it, like drawing tutorials and practicing music and even cooking. So it wasn't too out of the norm. But the people, fuck me, the people who came in with IRL streaming category, man, they would give Jerry Springer a run for his money. So I'm gonna do this in rapid fire succession so it'll be easier to digest. So strap on.
Brother May, don't you mean strap it?
I know what I said.
Let's go!
Ice Poseidon. The dude gets banned on Twitch when a viewer of his calls in a false bomb threat for a plane flight that they claim he was on. They were even using Ice Poseidon's real name to try to make it look serious. You would normally feel bad for the idiot, but he and his community do this on the regular. They send in false reports and false emergencies to emergency responders for fun and content, so F him. Oh, he also did a pump and dump crypto scan and ended up ripping off his fans to the tune of over 300 grand.
Okay. Let me just start by saying I applaud the gusto with which you approach life. Thank you. That being said, are you out of your freaking mind? Beg pardon? You just could not control yourself.
Right, 300 grand to the tune of a cryptocurrency called CX Coin. Last I heard of this a-hole, he got busted in Bangkok twerking on his girlfriend and interacting with a lady of the night on a live stream. You would think not a big deal, but with Thailand having a strict anti-that law, and last I heard, he was also being a nuisance to Japan, you can understand why we don't hear that much from him outside of just, well, basically being a tool on other sites. But I'm not a fan of his, so I try not to keep an eye on him. Next fuck up. Dr. Disrespect. Popular streamer and gaming personality Dr. Disrespect makes a public confession that he cheated on his wife for the first time. This was around or just before 2017, which, keep that in mind. Later on in 2017, he begins inappropriately messaging a minor on a private Twitch chat. This Twitch chat, being private, was specifically for adults if I remember correctly. Either way, it happened on Twitch's site and shit hit the fan. It led to him getting banned. Perma-banned. At the time, no one knew what was going on because Twitch suddenly knew what the word discretion was. Anyway, the minor stuff ended up getting revealed because a former Twitch staff employee who was a musician tried to muster up some form of attention to his failing music career by leveraging what he knew about the doc. The doc ended up beating him to the punch and set the record straight with the detractors. He released 2 tweets, where in one he admitted to indeed having an inappropriate conversation, but he didn't go too in depth about what was actually said. Now let's take a look at the doc's tweet. The Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. Fair? I mean, he did actually open up about his whole thing with his wife, so I guess points. Anyway, first and foremost, I don't want to apologize to everyone in my community. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio.
But you can't do this to me. I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. I'm assuming it's probably one of those non-disclosure agreement type things when he did the settlement with Twitch. And now that two former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch Whisper message? Twitch Whisper, that's what it was. That was the private chat that was adults only. It was creepy, but yeah, Twitch is Twitch. Anyway, were there Twitch Whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. There were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear. It was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Sorry, I was at the bottom and I could barely see when I was reading this. But yeah, that's the base tweet that he set out, and apparently he edited it to make sure certain words popped out so he could mess with his trolls. Now, I'm gonna check this Forbes article here that says, what is it here? I'm now going to check out this Forbes article because I couldn't find this other tweet for the life of me. So I'm going into a Forbes article to see what I could get. Because he did do a second tweet, if I remember correctly. The second tweet was basically him saying that he trolled his detractors. Yeah, he took a bit of a hiatus and then he came back. And when he did, he led into a little something when he said, were there Twitch messages back with an individual back in 2017? The answer is yes. He emphasizes mine. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is not. They were casual, mutual conversations. We got that part. Now, at the time, it was kind of weird, but hey, he said what he said. But it turns out he was not sexting anybody at all. He also said the word minor specifically to mess with the ex-Twitch employee and basically every crappy journalist that would try to scrutinize him and try to bring him down. Would you think that he would be doing something that's stupid? For example, I think like this guy Kev says, like, he makes a comment saying there ain't no way the doc is claiming he edited the word minor out of the original statement on purpose to screw with journalists. I'd say yeah. I mean, dude, to be honest with you, you cannot hate journalists enough. They are guilty of some of the dumbest shit imaginable. They have lied, they have slandered, they have done all sorts of things just to get ahead. In regards to the doc, I can't tell for sure, but that's the tweets that came up. I wanted to bring up both because I know he did do one tweet and then he edited that tweet and then he made a whole other one where he claimed I didn't do nothing, and he did it on purpose specifically. He made that tweet specifically the way it was to screw with journalists, and you know what? If he did intentionally do it that way, I say all power to him. Good to him. Screw journalists. They're liars. They're not the same journalists that helped do things like save countries back in the day. These are people who are bought and shill for crappy things. Looking at you, Forbes, looking at you, Washington Post, looking at you, Kotaku, you're all the same as far as I'm concerned. Too bad, as far as I've heard about him post all this, is that he's in the doghouse as far as public opinion is concerned. I mean, what do you get for breathing in the same room with a minor at this point? My honest opinion on the matter, I don't know for sure. Since, I mean, the phrase inappropriate can range from being super inappropriate, like saying what you want to do to a person, to just making a joke about, well, the human body and that person taking it offensively. As far as the police are concerned, nothing illegal was apparently said or alluded to, but you know the internet. We like to speculate. Last I heard about the guy, he was on Rumble. I don't normally check out Rumble, so if you want to see what happens with him later on, or to this day, go ahead and look. I'm moving on to the next train wreck of a human being. Okay, for this last major train wreck, I'm going to use them as an example of the overall problem that's going to follow. The animal abuse. Somehow, popular streamer Alinity got in trouble in 2019 for abusive behavior to her pets. The one I personally remember of what she did is She tossed her cat behind her head on stream, and in another stream, spit vodka in her cat's mouth. That's just what I remember. There are other moments that would make PETA give them that look. And obviously, sadly, there are other streamers who are weirdly mostly women who tend to abuse their pets on stream. This led to Twitch running defense for a lot of these women, and they really did run defense. Twitch did that for a lot of these abusive IRL streamers. And the thing is, if you want to get a better coverage of all this, I suggest check out It's a Gundam. He covered a lot of this during his Twitch Thought era. If you want to know which videos, look for where you see a puppet. It was weird, but moving on. On to the next chapter. Chapter 4. Me Too came for us all. Oh boy, this was one hell of a period for men. Like with every industry, hashtag MeToo came for basically anybody who had a penis and a big following. As far as Twitch and the entertainment industry, and well, I think basically every industry, I guess. Many were given false accusations, and if you were on Twitch, your channels would be suspended under dubious charges. But when you could clearly see actual offenders who were big names like your news streamers, your prank channels, your political channels, suspiciously, their punishments seemed to take their time, and when they would get punished, it was light and they would come back very quickly. A lot of people looked at Twitch like what the hell, but Twitch still continued to claim they were on the side of the women and hashtag MeToo. This leading them to add some new policies and even claim to take action against those who would do things badly outside and on the platform. But as you can see with some streamers, not all were created equal. Too bad for Twitch though. It's not all bad, since all advertisers seem to look at them like what the hell and bounced. Sure, they came back, but it was a bit of a money cut back then. This is going to be short because it leads into the next problem. Like a double standard thing, but it'll lead in and creates a bigger picture. Anyway, on to chapter 5.
It's raining little white women. My prayers have been answered. She better move, because my prayer's for a Cadillac.
Chapter 5. You knew it was coming. Oh, screw you. You know this part was coming. Enter the hot tub meta. The TLDR version? Were y'all listening to me, or were you staring at the bitches in the hot tubs? Look again. Twitch had, and to this day still has, a massive thought problem. If you don't know what a thought is, ask your local black man. The hot tub meta specifically was when the thoughts discovered swimsuits and hot tubs. There was a little debate in the community about who copied who, but to be real, it was just a bunch of girls who thought, hey, they could get more views by dropping all pretenses and relying on just being attractive. Some not as much as others. But hey, this ain't a smash or pass, so I won't go too deep in that. But I will bring up and go in depth with is Twitch. You gotta remember, Twitch is a site that's geared towards younger audiences, specifically kids. You could say, oh come on man, they're just girls having fun, having their autonomy and all that, because you know, girls just wanna have fun. Except these heifers were using their channels to be fake girlfriend experiences to nickel and dime young boys and get them addicted to them. In essence, baby's first grooming site. I'm not explaining all this all that well, but just think about it like this. You got these lonely boys who just hit puberty and all the weird desires and thoughts that come with it, especially in regards to nakedness, going onto a gaming site and then seeing barely clothed women who want to build so-called relationships with them. They were just building fake parasocial relationships and getting these horny boys to get the bag. I'm not throwing all women streamers under the bus, obviously. There are actual gamers who are on the site that are women who actually enjoy playing games. But I think we have to look at these thoughts with a lot more scrutinizing attention, when you realize that their targets are children, specifically boys, who are hitting puberty and glued to the screen. They're staring at these girls rolling around in a hot tub being all suggestive while claiming they give a damn about them. They rarely got any repercussions, and when they did, it was being small and many little bans and many little suspensions. And, well, other than that, the faction being cat and eat each other alive. Now, it's weird that when they would get suspended and have some kind of ban, they were either very short or, suspiciously, they would be randomly back, as if nothing ever happened. Now, I know you're about to say, what about the VTubers? Aren't they just as bad? Say what you will about them, but at least they make it clear that their target demographic is usually older. And when they do something, they are actually playing games. And they don't always go weirdly sexual. Not to the level of thought streamers. Enough with my soapbox. I came here to laugh. So, I'm just gonna move on to the next chapter.
Pew! Pew!
Okay. Oh! God damn it, Cyril!
Woo! Oh, geez. Sorry.
That's why I wanted you to be stick.
Okay, this video has gone on long enough, and I don't want to bore you guys any longer than I have been. So I'm going to make this next section some quick rapid shots of events that happened up until the present. Obviously, a lot is going to be excluded, but if I included everything, you would all be here until the 50. If you want me to go more in depth about a certain topic, I'll gladly do so. But for now, let's just take this as quickly as possible so you guys can get on with your lovely days. Chapter 6. Rapid shots. Okay, number 1, we had the massive data leak where streamers' info was leaked publicly. This included their personal information as well as their payouts from Twitch. This showed that not all streamers were being paid fairly. Some were even being, well, left on the red. Number 2, there was a botting problem that targeted minorities with rapid hate speech, and you know, for a company that likes to look progressive like Amazon and Twitch, did not make them look good. Number 3, the Twitchcon safety hazard mishap with the foam pit incident coming to mind. This is where there was an injury that happened in 2022 at Twitchcon. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say injury? I mean injuries. Long story short, there was a Lenovo booth at Twitchcon, and they were having an activity called the foam pit. This is where you and your friends would jump into a foam bath or a foam pit and just have fun. La 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 la. Too bad this went from a 2.5 Men joke to a Family Guy joke, if you catch my drift. Multiple people got hurt, with 2 streamers having serious injuries. One, I believe, got her spine broken. It was a colossal fuck-up. Don't quote me on that last injury, it's what I heard, and I've been looking into it further, and it seems that might be the case. Anyway, the next mishap, next incident, the VTubers. VTubers got shafted heavily, and Twitch, doing their policy changes, showed great favoritism, as well as their horny desires for the IRL thoughts. They scrutinized over VTubers, who were at best scantily clad clothing and making some dodgy jokes, but they left the IRL thoughts to do whatever they liked. Thoughts like Amaranth and Morkpie, Alinity, a lot of them were just doing whatever the hell they wanted. Now, you would think, how do we know that this was a thing? There were a lot of moments where you could see these thoughts were taking risque photos and giving them to Twitch staff so they could continue to skate the rules. And Twitch, being Twitch, you could see certain people getting through. And why they were getting through. I mean, for goodness sake, there was a streamer who streamed herself having sex on stream. And nothing happened. There were also twerking competitions, and then there was the whole boob meta. Long story short, for the boob meta, female streamers like Morkpie did things like the cleavage meta at first that led to the boob meta. What they would do would be getting their hooters all oiled up or covered in something to make them more noticeable. But they would dodge the TOS by keeping their nips out of the sight of the camera. Lastly, there was also a botting mess that came out of control, but the biggest thing you can take away from all of this is that advertisers saw everything that was going on and just ducked and dived, making the site either very, very sad or making them feel very good when the advertisers will come back and overly advertise on the streaming site at the chagrin of, well, basically everybody who watched Twitch. Now, let's go to the present.
All a joke. Everything anybody's ever valued or struggled for, it's monstrous. Why can't you see the funny side? Why aren't you laughing?
Chapter 7. Twitch so far. This might be the most meatiest of the chapters, but I'll try my best to make it fly by. First thing I gotta do is bring up politics. Now, personally, I don't like politics. I think it can never lead to anything productive or good, and it's pointless, because every politician is basically the same, minus minute details based on their conservatism versus liberalism. Their spending is still the same, their push for certain things are still the same, the government stooges that they elect are still the same, and the businesses that support them and they let slide are still the same. You can say that my view is quite dismissive, but personally they're so divisive that I think it's not even worth even talking about. But I have to bring it up now because I'm bringing up these idiots. Political commentators and political content creators on Twitch, including the likes of Destiny, Hassan Piker, Frogan, and that direction. Well, after Charlie Kirk got shot, they've gotten more scrutinizing eyes on them. Now, personally, I don't like any of these people, but they've been saying some rather spicy takes lately, especially on the liberal side. Normally I'd say, let them talk. But after hearing stuff like,
Kill them! Kill those motherfuckers! And murder those motherfuckers in the street! Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games, okay? I'm done today. I don't give a fuck. God, it's gonna be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next fucking 2 months of shit I'm doing. Well, the cucked shit out here. Please don't anybody make any actual fucking, the most cucked, weak-ass, fucking bullshit-ass speeches on my side. God, if it happens, holy shit, I'm gonna make a death note before I go out to go live and not... God, it's so cucked.
You serious? Surprised that people in the US government are now starting to look at them and say, hey, you need to be investigated as well as Twitch itself for fostering a radical and dangerous mentality to a young demographic, especially kids. Say what you will about lobby talk, game talk, COD talk, whatever you want to say. Those are just jokes. These freaks, they're being serious. They just happened to get caught. And they're now trying to either backpedal or claim they were being disingenuous, joking around, or they're resorting to the tried and true, what about this, what about that? I'm not going further on the matter. If you want any more of that, check political channels. They do deeper dives on this thing and actually point out where they're wrong, where they're right, and where they're full of it. Next controversy, the streamer Emiru. Now Emiru had a problem. She had a random dude run up to her and try to greet her with an excited kiss. Too bad she's not his girlfriend. She didn't consent. He even tried to force the kiss and only got pushed off by her private security, while Twitch staff was basically in the corner reminiscing about, I don't know, getting thought selfies so they can dodge permabanning. I don't know. The dude pushed past her meetup queue and other streamers' booths and their meetup queues like it was the music video for Bittersweet Symphony. Twitch security did nothing, and our personal security had to be the one to step in. Too bad they couldn't do much because, well, Twitch has a thing of stopping security from doing their jobs and restraining troublemakers until the police can arrive. So much so, Emiru had to basically leave her preferred security guard back home because he got banned from Twitchcon because he restrained a guy who tried to get a little too touchy last time. Basically, you can say Twitch is saying, let their security handle it. You would say, what's the big deal? The problem is, they don't do their jobs. The dude literally just wandered past everybody and just moved around the convention and just left, like nothing happened. She and her manager are the ones who are pushing this thing and are trying to press charges against the guy for sexual misconduct, and too bad Twitch is being a bitch about it and not trying to help. They're even fighting to the point of they don't want to release any information on the dude and saying they're going to handle it by temporary banning him. You heard that right. Temporary banning.
Jesus Christ! Really?
Oh, I'm sorry. They're permanently banning him, and that's that. Yeah. Emiru and her manager are trying to make this a bigger thing, and they're taking it to the police. The police had to get involved, and that led to Twitch having to begrudgingly give out the guy's information. Now, this and other matters have awoken other sexual misconduct moments that Twitch tried to bury, or hope this did not get revealed. Including, the one that's coming to mind right now, is when famous streamer Faze Silky's assistant got sexually assaulted by streamers Nina Lim and Zoe Spencer. Most don't perceive it as sexual assault because he's a guy and the assaulters were 2 women. But the thing is, other streamers are thankfully bringing this up and keeping this in the spotlight and defending the dude because, yeah, he was not okay with it, and I don't think he's okay to it to this day. I mean, who would? I'm not going to show the clips because YouTube is YouTube, and apparently other people have tried and they eventually got their videos taken down. So, yeah. I will, however, direct you to streamers like Asmongold and Tectone and, yeah, and VTubers like Smuggleana and Naxumor. They have covered this and they have been able to show what happened, and yeah, they're bigger than me and they are able to do bigger deep dives, and they're more professional about this than I am. They're keeping this in the internet's current consciousness. All of this, mind you, as well as all the political stuff and the treatment of VTubers have basically led to streamers not feeling all that safe at the events. And they seem to be avoiding Twitchcon due to lack of safety as well as their morals. They're even avoiding the site. Doesn't seem that obvious or it doesn't seem that noticeable from the outside looking in, but who knows, time can change all that. Now, I brought up the VTubers because, well, their identities are apparently being outed by crappy Twitch staff, and yeah, if fans come to give gifts, apparently they dump their gifts into the trash claiming bomb threats, or they're giving those said gifts to popular streamers like Hassan. I'm not saying Hassan specifically got anything, I'm just using him as an example. This has led to a lot of people, especially VTuber fans, looking at Twitch the same way Dokes looks at Dexter. Anyway, the only other noticeable event that happened this year revolving around Twitch, collargate. No, this is not a new toothpaste. I mentioned Hassan Piker earlier. Yeah, I do not like this guy. I think he's a terrorist and a puppet who tries to push craziness into the opinions of other people. That's my opinion on the man. But you know what? What isn't an opinion on him is that apparently he abuses his dogs. How? Well, he uses electric collars, and apparently even more dodgy things, especially if you look at his uncle. Now, you see, he abuses his pets in order to keep them in the same spot during his multi-hour streams. I say this as a person who's had a dog. Dogs don't like to sit still in one spot. This guy is scummy, so I don't want to talk too much about him, so I'm going to leave it at that. Mostly because I'm worried that YouTube will try to take this video down, and because of what? Me mentioning dog abuse, and I don't want to make people who love their pets get even more angry than a lot of people are when they saw what was going on. If you want to see it, look up the many videos about collargate. Anyway, on to the conclusion.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Damn. Would you believe I actually skirted over a lot of shit when I researched what else happened? I mean, the laundry list of shit that has hit Twitch is insane. It's as long as a literal joke that you would see on a cartoon. But like I said, I'm not a real journalist or anything, but I did want to look back on Twitch and question, how is this site still going? You know, within light of all the recent craziness that's kicked off. I mean, dumpster fire at this point is a compliment. But I avoid many dodgy streamers and nuisance streamers and pranksters, specifically their names, so I don't have to deal with those kinds of people. I mean, they fuck on stream. They dox people, falsely accuse and send emergency responders to people's houses and abuse animals. These people don't give a fuck. They should be on a damn list. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and had an oh yeah moment while watching this and found it funny. I do think Twitch is a dumpster fire and should go the way of Vines. A moment of internet history that we all forget. I wasn't going to give this an I have a dream speech because honestly, I think Twitch is beyond saving and beyond believing. But in the end, I do have a dream. I have a dream, boys and girls, where women and men, regardless of gender, religion, race, and sexuality, or walk of life, can stream together in a land of love. I have a dream today that people can log on and build a community on an equal community basis and not engage in thottery behavior. I have a dream today that I won't have to explain to my children what camel toe and push-up bras are just because they wanted to watch a nigga with dreads play Fortnite. I have a dream today that politics have no place on gaming channels and gaming itself. That we can get back to calling your mama's fat, and that I have probably boned her to the tune of never gonna give you up. Let freedom ring from Amazon sweatshops to Twitcher circle jerks. Let freedom ring from the voices and opinions of all streamers, regardless of clout and stunts. I say let it ring, my brothers and sisters of gaming. Away with shock value pranks and fatherless and motherless behavior. I say away. Oh, I've been to Twitchcon. I might not get there with you, but I say let it ring so Dan Clancy can stop his midlife crisis and actually do his job and not drop women. Free at last, free at last. Let Amazon be free of Twitch at last. Thank you and good night. This took longer than expected because I was already working on a project, and that was going to take even longer if I had actually sat and committed to it even longer than I had. Don't worry, I'm still working on it, but I wanted you guys to actually have something in the meantime and not leave you guys in the waiting and, you know, create a pattern of just basically avoiding to the point I give up. I plan on making more festive and more theme-based holiday videos when I can. Hopefully when I get a better mic and, you know, more confidence. I'm gonna do another video soon. Hopefully one that's actually shorter and avoids taking too long. So, you guys have that to look forward to. Thank you for getting this far, and good night.
Vote live for Black TV. White folks are dead. We're getting the fuck out of here. Let's roll, damn right. Come on, back. Let's go, motherfucker. Go.
You have got to be kidding me. Alright, I was really hoping I'd be finished with this, but turns out something else happened. Well, relatively new. I saw it on my feed late, okay? I was busy doing this crazy ass video. As of the year of our Lord 2025, October, Twitch had a massive 14,000 layoff that basically cut the trust and safety department teams as well as long veterans who were at the platform. These people were part of the fraud prevention program, which, I mean, I can agree Twitch lay them off. At this point, they weren't doing anything. They also had layoffs back in June. At the time, it was they cut over 500 staff, and yeah, that was the long and short of it. I'm gonna do a bigger deep dive by looking at the Hindustan Times, where we learned from a specific employee known as Tarfu. yeah, he got laid off, as well as I said, 14,000. And yeah, he was a veteran for 11 years and was part of he helped create the safety department. Lovely. He didn't like to tell people what he did for work because he feared that, well, he would get a target on his back. He was right. Anyway, here's his full tweet where he's telling people he got laid off at the end of October. 28th, if I'm correct. Yes, 28th. He got laid off, and yeah, he was at Twitch for 11 years. He started working in trust and safety. Then he moved to customer experience. He's the person who built the entire fraud program at Twitch. My bad. Not the trust and safety, fraud department. By the way, doesn't seem like that position was all that relevant. Anyway, he never told people what he was doing for work, and he was the one keeping bad actors off of Twitch who would steal and abuse revenue off the platform. Wow, you were not doing your job at all, dude. I know he's saying he maybe did his job too well, that's why they let him go. No, dude, they were not even gonna bother. Yeah, he goes in further to say it's a horrible time. And yeah, I mean, I can sympathize with the fact that apparently he had a motorcycle accident and he was getting married. He's getting married in less than a month. I do feel bad for him and all that. And I do agree with another staff member who basically said, yeah, it sucks. And that maybe having a little bit of sympathy go a long way. Too bad Twitch barely had any sympathy for anybody who would bring up the fact that you had abusers on Twitch, you had scammers on Twitch, you had all sorts of nonsense going on at Twitch, and Twitch only lackadaisically enforced their rules. Sorry to say, karma's a bitch. Anyway, this has definitely gone on way too long. I am tired, and I can assume you are all tired of hearing from me on this specific topic. I promise the next video will be shorter. Thank you, and good night.